If you can't even watch a movie without having to look at your phone simultaneously, continuously, it just means you are going through social media and your phone addiction. We are constantly exposed to external stimulation that even reading for 5 minutes feels like a chore, that even picking this gloss up feels like a chore. And your dopamine receptors are overloaded as hell. And you could have done a lot of better things during the whole time. You could have learned a lot of skills during that whole time. Do you realize how many things you could have done during that whole time that you're spending doing, wasting your time scrolling on a glowing rectangle? But now you will get to know that after you see this video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I am going to be talking. Okay, why am I so happily talking about it? I should not be smiling. I'm just in a good mood. So today I'm going to be talking about how social media, excess use of social media and your phone is basically polluting your mind and you need to stop. Okay, so starting off by saying my personal experience, I have been the most social media and phone addicted person that you could have ever seen, and the most lazy person too. Like, if you knew me in the past, you would have known that I have always hated being constantly on my phone. Like, I had that gut feeling. I had that feeling that, okay, what I'm doing is not right and it's not, benefiting me in any way. I have always had that self realization, but I never really worked on it. I just used to say it, and yeah, at times it did work, but it was really temporary. Like, my whole life at one point started to circle around social media and Instagram, my phone, my so-called friends, that I had forgotten that there is a whole life out there, that there is a garden outside of my house, made to be sat in, made to be taking out my time doing something better about my life in. But now I can say I am at quite a bit of a better place, and I am very, very, very less addicted to that. And no, I am not here to sound like an auntie who's like, or a mom who's like, it's that damn phone. I mean, it kind of is, but also it has a lot of science behind it. You'll understand. Okay, so first you need to know why. Why are we addicted to this glowing rectangle? So, using your phone releases a chemical in your brain that is known as dopamine. It's a chemical that makes you feel good. So, you are just sitting during the day, you are scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, or shorts, or reels for that matter, and you are seeing content that is making you feel better in some or the other way, like you are relating to some person in some or the other way, and you then keep on scrolling because eventually your algorithm starts to become like the posts that you interact with. The more that you will interact with the shitty dark humor meme, the more that your feed will start to show that. The more that you will interact with positive and or clothes content, fabric content, any type of content, the more that your feed will get aligned with that. So, like, you're just having to sit, do nothing, and relate to something and keep on scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Like, you're just sitting, and that is just making you feel related with, and you're basically just being a vegetable with fingers. So, because you feel better looking at this glowing rectangle, your brain slowly starts to think of this glowing rectangle as a source of dopamine, which is also a reward hormone. And the moment that your brain starts to associate your phone with dopamine, it's over for you. It's not completely over for you. I'm joking. You can change that, but it's really not a good thing. It's not the best thing. So now, every time your brain wants pleasure and or wants any external validation, external source of happiness, you just grab your phone and you just start scrolling. But you do not realize how eventually it starts to take up all your time, it starts to take up your days, it starts to take up your hours, and it basically starts to rule your brain. And the fact that you have such easy access to dopamine and that stimulation, It's not normal because our brains are not evolved enough to just suddenly be exposed to so much of stimulation. Like, it's not normal, and it was never the case before. We have forgotten the fact that we need to work for it. These apps that you're constantly on are designed to keep you hooked. They're getting a lot of benefit from you just scrolling even one reel. And also, then you cannot concentrate on one simple thing for a long time. Like, if you're watching a reel from like 15 to maximum 1 minute, that's the max. Your brain eventually starts to get aligned with that too.
Eventually, you start to get ADHD. Like, you cannot focus on one thing for a long time because you're scrolling, and those videos tell you a lot of things within just 15 seconds or maximum 1 minute.
It is affecting your memory and your concentration. You basically scroll and scroll and scroll, and you've ended up watching thousands of TikToks, okay, maybe hundreds. And do you remember the last reel that you just watched before you tapped on my video, before you opened this video? It has started to really just eat up our brains, honestly. Like, it's honestly a zombie. Your phone is a zombie. Okay, that's a real good comparison out there. And eventually, so there's this random influencer and influencer. Trust me, getting to know about what they had for lunch won't change your life. Like, getting to know, trying to, get so into their lives, trying to know everything about them. Like, okay, getting to know the fact that they might have had lasagna for their lunch and some random buttered chicken for their dinner. That won't do you any good. Like, you know, you being constantly interested in their life won't do you any good. In fact, from this is where a lot of hate comes out eventually.
Is when you just see someone living the life that you want. For example, you want to go on a vacation, but we're not financially capable enough. You see someone on social media going on a vacation in the Maldives, enjoying out there on the beaches. You're like, I deserve that life. And then that is from where hate comes out. You start to write nasty things in their comments, you start to do all that. And again, this whole process is of projection.
The time that you could have taken out focusing on yourself, the time that you could have actually taken out working on something, making your own life better, that could have maybe benefited you a trip to Maldives eventually in your life at one point. You are using that time to write nasty things about someone in their comments, which will do you no good. Because trust me, baby, they don't care. They literally don't care. They're living their life, they're out there enjoying, and what are you doing? Sitting behind that screen, being miserable, writing about them, thinking it will affect them? No, baby, they're living their lives. They are out there living their lives. And them living their lives, and you just, constantly being hooked on it, seeing it again and again, it just means that you're not living your life and you're just being miserable as hell. So get over that addiction, get over that desire. You start to neglect your own life. Like, prioritize yourself. Literally, no one is more important to invest your energy into rather than your own self. That just sounded like I was reading something. But okay. No celebrity, no influencer, no YouTuber, no TikToker, no one. Literally no one. Just you and yourself. One of the reasons that you're so addicted to your phone could be that you want to escape yourself, that you want to escape your miseries. Okay, every addiction is most of the times an attempt to escape yourself, but the best way out of a problem and an issue is through it, and your phone is not making it any easier. Again, because you are constantly seeking out pleasure from an external source that is literally a glowing rectangle. So, ask yourself, like, what am I trying to run away from? What am I seeking? Like, the things that you seek in something else are already in you. The pleasure, anything that you seek in something else or someone else is already in you. So your phone can also be a reason for your misery. It can also add to your misery. Because a lot of times nowadays, we have become consumers, not creators. Like, you're using your phone to see someone else's life or to comment, but what are you doing with your own? You're just consuming, you're not creating. And a lot of times, sometimes I've seen, a lot of times, sometimes, well. So I have seen that social media is such a bad thing, okay? So the main reason, honestly, for me personally, the main reason that I personally kind of stopped being so addicted and always on my phone, especially Instagram and social media, was because I used to scroll through reels, I used to see, and what was that in the end giving me? Like, and the fact that sometimes I used to open the comments, it's filled with a lot of hate. People nowadays, they don't think twice online. They never think honestly online. They just they've just become very insensitive, and I'm a sensitive person, so I mean, I would prefer not. I control my thumbs from opening the option of reels on Instagram, and I just control myself. And now, even if I do end up the reel aisle, I I force myself to not open the comments, because see, energy is exchange. When I read something negative, that affects me, because honestly, in every single post that I see, 98% of the times, there's at least one hate comment down there. People are filled with misery and jealousy. Why? Because of this whole same thing that I just explained. And that honestly, your energies eventually start to exchange. And I used to get affected. I used to be like, why is this person getting hate for just saying their opinion? Like people nowadays have become brainless. Like again, this phone zombie has eaten their brains. They don't have any human emotion left in them. They don't have the conscience. They do not have they do not have basic human decency. They do not have sensitivity. And you know what? Social media eventually starts to become a part of your life. Like your social media personality will become a part of your real life personality. Like the more that you deny it, see, again, another thing in addiction is you will deny it. You will be like, oh, it's not that bad, it's not this, that, I can manage. Oh my god, my social media personality is different. But a lot of times, a lot of maximum times, it starts to get to you. It starts to become who you are. And if you're a negative person online who creates fake accounts, writes shit about other people because you don't have the same life, you will start to become that in real life. Your friends will stop talking to you. See, if you slut shame a girl out there, when it becomes a part of your personality in real life, if you say that same thing in real life to her, you're going to jail. Your whole career is ruined. Like, you don't realize how much that is eventually going to affect you in the future. And it starts to become a part of your personality. So for your own good, become better. Okay, so now how can you change that? So I know it's not that easy again. I mean, I'm not telling you to completely banish your phone or just forget the existence that, oh my god, my phone is a thing that used to exist. No, it's quite useful. Social media is also kind of useful a lot of times. I'm not saying that it's completely bad. No, obviously it's really good too a lot of time. So you need to start off by making routines. But what is not good is making that your whole life. That is what's not good. Add maybe mild changes to your lifestyle, like you could be waking up and meditating for 5 minutes, or just staying in silence, like anything. Eventually it starts to become a part of your routine. Like eventually, like I guess it takes 21 days to build up a habit. Ask yourself, like, what is the perfect routine, like for your own self, that sits with you? Because I am 101% sure that we all have this guilty feeling. We all have this guilt whenever we wake up, straight up we go on our phones. We all have that guilty feeling that what am I doing with my life right now? I have also had that, and honestly, I am also personally trying. I try my best these days to, whenever I wake up, just not instantly go on my phone. Do not instantly check it. I try my best, even though I have not succeeded that much yet, but it has started to become a part of my life. Like, if I wake up, I maybe drink water, or I just sit in silence for complete 5 minutes rather than instantly checking my phone nowadays. So it could be an evening routine, morning routine, night routine, anything. And basically, routines are non-negotiable things. Like no matter how tired you are, no matter what, every day you have to do this one thing or these few things. Like add that to your lifestyle. Things that will improve your day. For me, I learn new dances on different songs, or I just meditate a bit, or I exercise every day. And that is honestly like just that's something that will improve your day, that will improve your mood, that will do benefit to you. Set limits, okay? Like time limits for a certain app. I know it does not always work, because I had started doing that and I used to always skip through it. I used to be like, nah, I'm ignoring that. But now at this point in my life, I have kind of like luckily reached that limit where I don't myself check social media that much that I get a warning that you've reached your limit. And mute your notifications. I have muted my notifications on every single social media app except WhatsApp, because that's like number related and you get work related stuff there. And also, you don't owe a reply to anyone. You literally don't, okay? Like they can rather come to your doorstep, or they can just send you an email or just text you on WhatsApp or anything like that. Like, it's not on you to be available for everyone 24/7. You know, honestly, you clicking on this video is the first step. It just means that you want to improve yourself. During this time, even if you have nothing to do, you can create something, like paint. Don't consume, create. Like, you can paint, you can draw, you can sketch. I sketch, and I do draw a lot of times too. I do a lot of other stuff rather than just being clingy with my phone and on social media. Maybe read a book, maybe write. You can do all that stuff during that time, or just anything else that you're interested in. It can also be on your computer. Maybe play some game that does not drain your energy. Like, I play Sims at times. It's fun when I have literally nothing to do. So yeah, a lot of times these are just excuses that, I'm addicted to my phone, but it's because of this, it's because of that. No, it's just an excuse. It's not because of anything. And I hope that you guys learned something in this video, and will stick to some routine. At the end, reward yourself with something whenever you accomplish that time limit or anything. And that was it for today.